What will happen if three major world conflicts erupt simultaneously within a single month? Iran still possesses enriched uranium. Ukraine has successfully reclaimed its territory. And Israel is now moving ground troops into southern Lebanon. Welcome to June 2026, the month that may change the map of global power forever. The U.S. Israeli airstrikes in May 2026 hit Natanz and Isfahan. But intelligence data from the June 2026 edition of the Global Nuclear Threat Monitor reveals a surprising fact. The Fordow facility, embedded 80 meters underground, is still operating. Iran is estimated to still possess a stockpile of 42 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, enough to produce 2 nuclear bombs if further enriched. The IAEA says its monitoring has been very limited since March 2026. In other words, no one truly knows what Iran is doing underground. And Iran has already tested the Fordow 3 medium-range ballistic missile with a range of 1,800 kilometers, far enough to reach Tel Aviv, Riyadh, and U.S. bases in Qatar. For 2 years, the world believed Russia would win slowly. But June 2026 reversed that narrative. Operation Khortytsia, Ukraine's counteroffensive in the Zaporizhia sector, successfully recaptured 340 square kilometers of territory lost since 2022. That is equivalent to the area of Greater Jakarta. What changed? 3 things. The latest generation NASAMS air defense system from the U.S., F-16 Block 70 fighter jets that have begun full operations, and, most surprisingly, Ukraine's own autonomous AI drone called Baba Yaga X capable of selecting targets without a human operator. On the Russian side, a report from Eurasian Military Intelligence Digest states Moscow has lost more than 12,400 armored vehicles since the start of the conflict. New tank production is only 200 units per month, half of what the front requires. However, Putin still holds one trump card: tactical nuclear threats. And the world knows that threat has never been entirely empty. The first 2 weeks of June 2026 recorded something that had not happened since 2006. Israeli ground troops once again set foot on Lebanese soil. The immediate trigger: a Hezbollah rocket attack that killed 34 Israeli civilians in Haifa on June 1, 2026. The IDF responded within 48 hours with Operation Iron Cedar, simultaneous ground and airstrikes at 12 locations. Hezbollah is no longer the same organization it was in 2006. According to the Middle East Strategic Arms Assessment 2026, they possess more than 150,000 rockets and missiles, including the Fateh 110 and Zelzal 3 precision missiles capable of striking Tel Aviv with 10-meter accuracy. What makes the situation even more complex: Iran has openly threatened to respond proportionally if Hezbollah is destroyed. This means the Lebanon conflict could become a direct proxy war between Israel, the U.S., and Iran. Amid these 3 conflicts, let's look at who truly holds the world's military power in 2026. The United States remains number 1 with a defense budget of $942 billion US. They have 11 aircraft carriers, 800 military bases in 70 countries, and now operate a 6th-generation stealth aircraft, the F/A-XX. China continues to surprise with the DF-41 ICBM and their 3rd aircraft carrier, Fujian, which is now fully operational in the South China Sea. China's defense budget, $350 billion US, up 8% from last year. Russia, despite being drained in Ukraine, still has the world's largest nuclear arsenal, 5,889 warheads. Their Avangard hypersonic missile system travels at Mach 27 and there is still no defense system capable of intercepting it. India and France are climbing in rank. India is testing the Agni-6 nuclear missile with a range of 8,000 kilometers. France, under NATO pressure, has increased its budget to $98 billion and deployed the Foreign Legion to Eastern Europe. Now the most important question, can these three conflicts merge into a single global war? Analysts from the International Crisis Dynamics report map out three scenarios. Red scenario, Iran launches missiles at Israel, the U.S. responds, China blocks the Strait of Malacca as pressure, and Russia carries out tactical nuclear strikes in Ukraine. Probability, 12%, small, but not zero. Orange scenario, the conflict is localized but prolonged. Iran and Hezbollah weaken Israel for 18 months. Ukraine and Russia are frozen along the current front line, and the global economy is shaken by an oil embargo. Probability, 47%. Green scenario, a gradual ceasefire in Lebanon, a new nuclear agreement with Iran, and a freezing of the Ukraine conflict through Turkish mediation. Probability, 41%, but it requires extraordinary political will. Then what are the impacts for Indonesia? We cannot pretend to be neutral when the world is burning. First, oil prices. Every escalation in the Persian Gulf drives up global oil prices. If the Strait of Hormuz is closed, Indonesia would have to rely on strategic reserves and alternative routes, a scenario that would hit domestic fuel prices. Second, the TNI is currently modernizing its defense equipment. The ordered Rafale jets have started arriving, Scorpion submarines are under development, and the NASAMS air defense system is being negotiated. But is it enough to safeguard sovereignty in the Indo-Pacific? Indonesia must continue to play smart diplomacy, not choosing sides, but ensuring that national interests are not held hostage by conflicts we did not start. Then what are the impacts for Indonesia? We cannot pretend to be neutral when the world is burning. First, oil prices. Every escalation in the Persian Gulf drives up global oil prices. If the Strait of Hormuz is closed, Indonesia would have to rely on strategic reserves and alternative routes, a scenario that would hit domestic fuel prices. Second, the TNI is currently modernizing its defense equipment. The ordered Rafale jets have started arriving, Scorpion submarines are under development, and the NASAMS air defense system is being negotiated. But is it enough to safeguard sovereignty in the Indo-Pacific? Indonesia must continue to play smart diplomacy, not choosing sides, but ensuring that national interests are not held hostage by conflicts we did not start.
Watch me.